Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. This is KendyK all day. So, friends, I set this live up completely wrong on webcam. So, this is what we got as the image. Sorry. Y'all know KendyK be, I don't know. Hey y'all, hey. This is KendyK all day. We got some 80/20 ground beef going. Trying to give y'all image. I just had to set the laptop up like this. Let me see what it looks like on camera. I just had to do whatever I could do. I for some reason I didn't set it up to go on my mobile. So I'm just trying to maneuver things around. Y'all can't see in the pot. Maybe I need to come in from this side. Can y'all see in the pot? This is an 80/20 ground beef. Ground chuck, actually. 80/20 ground chuck. And it is done. We are making bell pepper soup today. We're making bell pepper soup. So I've got a whole bunch of bell peppers, green bell peppers, which is the mildest taste and is traditional. And these other bell peppers I just picked up at the store because we'll add a few of them just for the color. You know how we do. You know how we do. This is my 80/20 ground chuck. And this is KendyK all day. We are making bell pepper soup. And KendyK set this live stream up all wrong before the people. Because you know I'm a new content creator in these YouTube streets. So y'all give me some grace if you don't mind. Hope everybody is okay. You probably need to plug in so we don't lose power. Let's do that. That would be disastrous if we lost power. We already. Well, it's going to be fine. It's fine, right? I did not go to school I have no training in video production. I'm just a new YouTube content creator in these YouTube streets. And this, my friends, is 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef, and it has a lot of fat in it for 80/20. It's got a lot of fat in there. But we're going to, now that the ground beef is brown, we're going to drain that fat from this. And y'all, this is what I do. I go ahead and run some hot water over that meat as well. Get some more of that fat out of there. Because it's been cooking in fat, so it's all right. You can get a little bit extra fat out of it. If you want to love me for real. Y'all know who sing that song? That's something in my spirit. Woo. That's what I'm talking about. We are making bell pepper soup for the collaboration with Mary's Life Journey. Nisha Antoinette, she made a great squash, butternut squash, and she had two things, butternut squash and something else yesterday, and it looked divine. I don't know when she made it, but I saw it yesterday. Queen's Alchemy is doing a jerk squash soup later on this evening. Check her out. And I am doing, as part of this collaboration, I am doing a soup a week anyway. And so this is going to count as the soup for Monday's meal prep because they asked us to do a special soup today for this collaboration. But you know, I've been doing a soup every week for Meal Prep Monday because this is a September to remember. because KendyK is getting ready for fall. I love soup. I can eat soup all year round. And so I have been stocking up my refrigerator by making a soup every week during the month of September. Do you remember? So yeah, let me drain this fat off. This is a bell pepper soup. And I first started making bell pepper soup when me and some of my work colleagues, we used to have lunch sometimes. We would go out to lunch together as a team, and we would have lunch at the Amish store. They had a little restaurant, a little cafe on one side of the Amish store, and they would make a, like a soup a day. And if you got there early enough, you could get that soup. So I'm adding some frozen diced onions. I love that. And 9 times out of 10, if I add some onions to something, I'm going to also add some bell peppers. And this is a pepper soup, so we're going to load it up. These are frozen diced. I also got cabbage. Haven't decided if I'm going to put a little cabbage in here, but cabbage just bulk it up so we can have even more vegetables in this very veggie soup. Y'all know I'm working with a registered dietitian, and I'm pushing high protein and low carbs and high fiber in my diet. Thank y'all for dropping in. Thank y'all for rocking and riding with me. This is a KendyK all day. Pepper soup is going down. Pepper soup is growing down. And so we've got an extra overabundance already of onions and bell peppers so that I can season this meat. Hey, we got to season that meat. Let me see what y'all are saying, y'all. I kind of have this rigged up because I set the live stream up wrong. I'm living and I'm learning because I'm trying to also remind myself how to do live streams outside of Oops. See? Turn the phone down, KendyK. Outside of StreamYard. Hey, Norman. Hey, friends. There's our friend Norman. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank y'all for joining me. This is KendyK all day. If you wanna love me for real. Shout out to the Oregon Ducks. Shout out to the Oregon Ducks. I got on my black. They're wearing black today because they're taking on those OSU Beavers today. It's going down at Austin Stadium. Yes. Y'all, I love college football. So shout out to the Ducks. Hope they do well today. I know they're going to slay. They're going to lay Pope. Those OSU Beavers, they're going to lay them out. They're going to be like, good night. Good night. Good night. So I have on my black, repping that home team, University of Oregon, and the Ducks. So that was black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder, right? Let's add a little celery salt. Because this is a soup. And why not? Celery makes everything taste better. And when you don't have fresh celery, which I do have fresh celery, I'm adding celery salt. If you wanna love me for real. So All of those veggies are in there. Plus, we're going to add some fresh green bell peppers near the end, just for the color of it and just for the. But this is the base. It's going down in the base. You got to start with a good foundation. So y'all can see pretty okay. I am sorry. I apologize that I have this stream. I set this stream up all the way wrong. Bless me. Bless me indeed. I was using my meat masher. Now I'm going to switch over to this spoon. We're trying to get some flavor down in here. Easiest soup in the world to make. So essentially, the ingredients that go in a bell pepper soup are the ingredients that would go in stuffed bell peppers. And you know, KendyK loves to do everything in an easier way. Yes. That's something, some dark matter. Looks like but I fished it out. Okay, so we're looking good so far, so good. And friends, the thing that I did not add is salt to this because we are using better than bouillon, and better than bouillon has a salt, lots of sodium in it already. So no need to add any Lowry seasoning salt or anything like that, in my opinion. The reason why folks use so much salt when they're cooking or add it to their prepared food is because they just keep adding more and more salt. And there's an addiction there. And it requires you to add more and more and more salt. So we're not gonna add any other than what is already in the better than bouillon. And today I'm not using the vegetable bouillon, I'm using the roasted beef better than bouillon. So this is KendyK's Saturday soup cook along. It's a September to remember. Once we get the soup going, now the soup is halfway done. Just like cooking the beef, you got to cook the beef first because it has to be done because everything else is already, So the protein this is 1 pound of ground chuck, browned, drained, and seasoned with onion powder, garlic powder, celery salt, and then the onions and bell peppers. So we already have cooked up something real nice. I came to the pantry. I came to the pantry. Y'all didn't remember what I needed to get over here. So everything that you would put in stuffed bell peppers. So we got some tomato sauce here. We also have some Italian diced tomatoes. And this has basil and garlic and oregano. That sounds yummy. And then these are just a can of with a Great Value brand diced tomatoes with onion, celery, and bell peppers. So works for me. If it works for you, we're going to go with that. May not need all of those, but what I am going to do is take my good bleach dishwater and make sure that I wipe these cans down. for good public health. For KendyK's public health. Always wipe your hands off, friends. Always. All kind of vermin. Think about it. All that fresh fruit and produce and stuff in a grocery store and in the warehouses where this food is processed. Yeah, you want to always wipe your hands off before you open them. And y'all know tomatoes are the only canned good that I buy, basically. I typically use frozen, intentionally. Fresh vegetables, of course, but frozen works well. Frozen is much cheaper than fresh. It retains all the nutrients in frozen. Don't anybody make you feel bad if you're unable to buy fresh fruit and vegetables. Frozen fruits and vegetables maintain all their nutrients, all of them, and they're at a considerably cheaper price. So if you're on a limited budget, or if you don't have access, then pick up yourself some frozen. Do whatever you can. Always use frozen versus not having any at all. Frozen is better than the canned, but in tomatoes, I do tend to use canned tomatoes. Trying to give y'all a little bit better picture. Yeah, I just goofed. I don't know what I did wrong to set this up, but we're rolling with it, or else I would have had to stop and restart the whole live stream from my cell phone, and didn't want to be late. So I'm giving you the best that I got. Giving you the best that I got. And all we're doing is just cooking this through the onions and bell peppers to thaw them up. They were frozen until they are soft. Just want to cook them until they're soft. The smells are amazing already. Smelling amazing already. Yeah, I apologize. It's a hot, cluttered mess up here. But we digress. We are moving forward. We're over here cooking. And this thing is going to be done fast. Let me open these. I like tomatoes. Do you? As I get older, though, my stomach is more sensitive to the acid in tomatoes. Hey, Monique. Welcome in, Mrs. Paula. Hi there, Gemini Diva 79. Thank you, members of KendyK's crew, including Norman, Monique Poe. Welcome to the crew. Thank you for being a member of KendyK's crew. Jeffrey W., we want to thank you for being the first person in this live stream to chat it up. Thank you. Hey there, Miss Lady B. Yeah, frozen is much better nutrition-wise. So we're going to go ahead and add those with all the juices in them. And y'all, I always buy these with the diced tomatoes. The Great Value brand works. It contains onions, celery, and bell pepper. Y'all, you already got the base of a good soup. So this is part of a larger collaboration with Mary's Life Journey. And I want to say we came up with this last Sunday or so. We were all over on a live stream with Mary's Life Journey, and folks started talking about soup. I know I said that I was doing a soup a week on Mondays as part of my Meal Prep Monday series. And to make this a September to remember, I love this time of year. Fall is my favorite time of the year because, you know, my birthday is in October. KendyK is turning 50 in October. So we'll see how much more. You might need one more can of tomato sauce, and maybe I have those two out there already wiped down. Yeah, the acid has really, my stomach is just very sensitive now. It just really is. I'm wipe that down since those cans were there before I start cutting up my veggies. So I use frozen and onions and bell peppers in this. And we're also going to put in some of that better than bouillon. I'm using the beef today. I buy the vegetable, I buy the roasted chicken, and I buy this roasted beef. I'm going to use the roasted beef today. So I pulled that out of the refrigerator. Y'all know KendyK is a 5-ingredient type of lady. We don't do fancy over here, but we do good. It is going to be yummy. And we're going to go ahead and drop. What am I missing here? Do y'all know? Because if y'all been rocking and riding with me, you probably already know. What are we missing here? The bay leaves. We're gonna put a bay leaf off in there. We're gonna put one bay leaf in there. I'm gonna put up one whole bay leaf in there. And I told y'all we're gonna put one in there because I need us to make sure we fish out one. I'm gonna cover it up with my meat. Yeah, so this is almost as if we were making stuffed bell peppers. Everything we put in stuffed peppers, it's gonna go in this pot today. That's how we're doing that. That's how we're doing that. Let me see if I can get us a better image. Maybe if I moved the lid over here. I have my little pot keeper thing over here. Get some of this stuff out of y'all's way so we can get us a better image over here. If you want to love me for real. You are right. Now, see, with your canned, this is why I prefer frozen, because it doesn't have all the sodium. And so Mrs. Paula has noted that. She says she prefers canned green beans over frozen, right? Because the reason why you like those canned ones, because it has sodium and it gives your green beans a better flavor. But again, because I'm very sensitive to salt and I am on medication for high blood pressure, and so my high blood pressure is controlled because I'm on medication, but I want to be off of high blood pressure medication, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Are we getting better with the picture? Okay, what about that, y'all? At least y'all can see in the pot now. Okay. Again, my apologies, friends. I don't know how I set this stream up, but it was not in the right manner. It just was not. There we go. We're gonna leave it like that. We're gonna leave it like that, KendyK. Yeah, feel free to share out your channel name because I did not turn Nightbot off. So feel free to share your channel link. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So let's cut up these bell peppers, and these are just going to be the pretty ones to give bulk up our soup, because these are going to cook down, the ones that are in there with the acidity in the tomatoes, in the canned tomatoes. It's going to cook on down. It's going to continue to cook those frozen onions and bell peppers down. So, of course, I'm not going to use all of these. It's a big bell pepper. I'm not going to use all of these in the soup. Some of them are going into the freezer. Meal prep. So it's my Monday meal prep on a Saturday for the purpose of this collaboration with some cool content creators, including Mary's Life Journey, Nisha Antoinette, myself, KendyK, all day, and Queen's Alchemy. I haven't just yet, but I will certainly link them in the description box. Now check out, I've been doing a soup a week to make it a September to remember. I have done Zuppa Toscana. KendyK's take on Zuppa Toscana. Y'all, that soup was amazing. In fact, I had some last night for dinner out of the freezer. Pulled it out of the freezer, and baby, it was delicious last Monday when we cooked it live. Check out the video on that. But baby, once that thing went in that freezer and has been in the freezer for a week, woo! So I meal prepped them. So I put them into servings of 1 or 2 and put them in the freezer. And I took out a bowl for 1 serving for myself. Y'all, oh my gosh. I almost turned the camera on and made a video because it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. So we're gonna cut that up too, y'all. We don't throw away that's good. I've already sprayed all of this vegetables down, these bell peppers. I've sprayed them all down with my 2-ingredient veggie wash. I'm just gonna lay them out here for the visually aesthetic appeal. Then that gets this bowl out of the way. How about that? Y'all see my duck shirt? Go Ducks. University of Oregon is playing Oregon State University, who are the Beavers. And I'm rooting for the Ducks, of course. That part. So every game at the University of Oregon for football, every game, they tell the fans what color to wear. And baby, that calendar is laid out. Because you know yellow is my favorite color. So I'm all into the Ducks anyway, because you know they use a lot of yellow for their school colors. But baby, that football schedule, they want the fans to wear a whole lot of green. But this is one of the 2 games in the fall 25 football schedule where they want us to wear black. Yes. So I've got some great content coming your way, including my game day attire. That includes this shirt, but I got to give you the whole outfit check. I think, according to model Lori Ann, she would call that an outfit check. Y'all know I like my food chunky. Now you can put some of this garlic, Kerrygold garlic and herb butter in here to just make your soup rich. So I have some already cut down in here. I'm telling you, elevate your cooking by just adding a little butter. Whatever you're cooking, it'll make it richer. So I'm just having a little bit of that to this pot. Welcome, Low Carb Queen. Welcome in, friend. Y'all check out Kim. She did some amazing looking apple muffins. Oh my goodness. I wish I had one of those to go with this hearty bell pepper soup that I'm making. And y'all, we're going to put a heaping teaspoon. Oh, this is just a spoon out the drawer. So we're going to put a spoonful of that big old round and spoonful of that. And y'all, this Better Than Bouillon is a great broth instead of most people buy like Nor products, the powders and stuff. Get that Better Than Bouillon. You'll thank me later. Get that Better Than Bouillon. So you see I'm putting my spoon off in there, baby, because baby, that's liquid gold. Right there, that Better Than Bouillon, that's liquid gold. Now I'm gonna put this, well, I'm gonna leave it right up here so y'all can see what I'm using. We're halfway done with our bell pepper soup. And I'm just gonna add water, friends. I think I'm just gonna add water. I could add more tomatoes, but I'm just gonna add a little water because we're really making essentially, we're using a paste to make our own broth. We use the Better Than Bouillon paste. And it is full of sodium. So I didn't add any other sodium to this. No seasoning salt or anything because I'm used that Better Than Bouillon paste. You can taste it yourself and see if you need it a little more, but I have really backed off the salt, and that's what I'm trying to continue to do over here. Now I'm telling you right now what I am endeavoring to do is pull out my what I'm going to do, friends, is pull out my Mueller dicer. This is my Mueller dicer. And I'm going to finish chopping up these peppers with the Mueller dicer. Because ain't nobody got time for all of this. Ain't nobody got time for all of this. I'm just doing this for y'all because we live. Thank y'all for joining me. This is the KendyK all day. Your bell pepper soup is amazing, y'all. It is amazing. Everything that you would put into stuffed bell peppers. Now, let's talk about it. Let me give you some options here. With this bell pepper soup, you typically, when you stuff a bell pepper, you would add some rice, full of carbs, or you can add brown rice, bigger punch of fiber, but still has carbs, or you could add, you know what I do is I typically use rice to cauliflower. So, which do y'all prefer? Because I can go either way. KendyK is versatile. I can go either way with it. And then you would make this mixture up. And remember, we have 1 bay leaf in there as well. You can pick up a little Italian by adding some of this McCormick Italian seasoning. So we just want to bring that up to a boil. So I'm going to put the lid on that, let that come to a boil, and then we're going to reduce it and let it do what? Simmer. Bring it to a boil and then reduce it and let it simmer. And at that time, we are going to have to decide, do we want to do rice, brown rice, or hi, Hajarine. Welcome in, friend. Welcome, heartily happy. is partially monetized. Congratulations. Heartily happy. You have been working so hard, and your works have paid off in your favor. Good for you, friend. Good for you. We are making bell pepper soup. And it is so super easy. 1 pound of ground chuck. I browned it off, drained that, added some onions and bell peppers in here. We added 1 can of just diced tomatoes that had onion, bell peppers, and onions in them. I get the Great Value brand. We added 1 can, 6 ounces of tomato sauce. Or is that an 8 ounce? Yes, the 8 ounce can of tomato sauce. And then we added 1 heaping spoon of better than bouillon, a beef bouillon base. We added 1 bay leaf, and we added a little garlic and herb butter from Kerrygold. And this is what we had, and some water. And we're waiting for that to boil. And baby, this thing is almost done. So I will add these because I want these to have some integrity. This is a bell pepper soup. So this would be the stuffed bell peppers. And when I make stuffed bell peppers, I actually eat the bell pepper that becomes the what you stuff them with the filling. So this is like a whole bell pepper that we cut up because we would normally eat that. So I think we'll just add a few red, and the rest of these I'm going to cut on a Mueller dicer. How about that? This is my Mueller dicer. It's just all folded up. And I'm going to put these in the freezer. Try to get that stuff in the freezer right away. It's for meal prep purposes, especially if you're not going to use it. I'm not going to use all of these bell peppers. So I'm going to cut them all up and put them in the freezer for when I need them for cooking. So that they don't go bad. Because we can be wasting money. This food is expensive, friends. And going up. So I'm glad that I already had like the ground chuck. I just keep that stuff because y'all, that stuff has gone up for a pound of meat. We're talking over almost $6 for ground chuck. It might have been over that. I don't know because I bought mine a long time ago when I saw that those prices going up. We're making a big pot of soup for meal prep. This is Meal Prep Monday on a Saturday. Doing a collaboration with Mary's Life Journey with Queen's Alchemy, Nisha Antoinette. And you all know that I've been doing a super week. It's for Meal Prep Monday. It's a September to remember. And I think we started that thing off with a vegetable beef soup. And then last week we did KendyK edition of Zuppa Toscana. Potato soup, sausage potato soup. The #1 best-selling soup at Olive Garden. Well, we did it at home, KendyK's style. And I mean, that stuff was amazing. I had it last night for dinner. I took a bowl out of the freezer, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I should have left that alone and let it come to a boil. Here, we're going to put all of this. I'm going to put all of these peppers on a Mueller dicer and dice these up. Hope everyone is having an amazing, can y'all even see the peppers? Hope everyone is having an amazing Saturday. Anybody watching college football today? I'm watching University of Oregon, the Ducks take on Oregon State University, the Beavers, and KendyK is rooting for them Ducks. You know I'm rooting for them Ducks. So we all blacked out today, okay? They want the fans to wear all black today with hints of gold because, baby, you gotta watch them fellas, watch them boys on that football team. Do y'all know this? I like college football. Y'all didn't know? Do y'all know this, that at the University of Oregon, Phil Knight the owner and founder of Nike, went to the University of Oregon. So over half the buildings on campus are named after Phil Knight and his lovely wife, Penny Knight, right? Because they've given millions, if not billions, to that institution. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, they're the coveted team, right? Because not only do these boys get a brand new pair of football cleats, it is a newly designed custom pair of cleats. Okay. And they also wear brand new custom designed uniforms each and every week that there is a game. They don't ever wear the same uniform twice. They're all new, brand new art design work. And baby, they're going to be blacked out with hints of gold. Yes. So KendyK's got her blacked out Oregon Duck shirt. Yes. Shout out to the Pacific Northwest. KendyK is all in, friends. Yes. Okay, heartily happy. Yes, Miss Lady, I love potato soup, baby, and that potato soup is banging. Yes. Oh, you about to follow suit. Okay. Auburn and Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Well, University of Oregon is now in the Big Ten conference. But baby, they wearing black with hints of gold. And on one side, even their helmets, y'all, even their helmets are different every week. That's how much money football is at the University of Oregon. That's how much money gets thrown around for football in the Pacific Northwest at the University of Oregon, baby. But I'm a duck through and through, because that's I like that vibe. There's not much you can do in the Pacific Northwest, y'all. So you got to kind of get into the football vibe. You just kind of got to get into that football vibe. And I'm in. I'm all in. I am all in. And so they even tell the fans. So I've got some great video that I'm trying feverishly to finish for y'all. I'm taking y'all to Oxen Stadium with me. Yes, of course. I'll take you to Oxen Stadium with me. Is that better or worse? Better or worse? Better or worse? It's a lot of money to Heartily Happy. Mm-hmm. I see what you're doing, Heartily Happy. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of money. Millions, billions. Come on. Oh, the Bulldogs not playing this week? One of my friends, and she works for the University of Georgia. So they're playing Oregon State University, and their colors are black and orange. Okay, black and orange. So that's why they got us wearing this black today. Mm-hmm. Yes. So this is okay. So we're boiling now. Grab my oven mitt. We're boiling now, so now we can stir and let it simmer to meld those flavors together. Stir so it doesn't burn. It doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot, and it's not going to stick to this pot. So we're just going to let it simmer. I lowered that to a 3 to let it simmer. And we can add white rice to this because it's essentially everything that goes in a bell pepper soup is everything that would go into stuffed bell peppers. And so we could add white rice, we could add brown rice, or we could add riced cauliflower. Now, I'm going to actually use riced cauliflower with this, but I am going to add 1 cup of brown rice to this. And friends, KendyK, y'all, I don't do anything fancy over here. KendyK is a 5 ingredients or less type of lady. I've told you with all that, okay? If I want to be fancier than that, then we'll just go to dinner. How about that? And this is for meal prep, y'all. This stuff is going to be frozen. I'm going to eat this today, and then it will be frozen. And I will have soups of all different types. I have vegetable beef soup now. I now have my dupe, my remix of Olive Garden's Zuppa Castana soup, which is a potato soup with Italian sausage. And y'all, so you would normally nuke these for 1 minute, but they don't need to be nuked because they can just go in the pot. And this is a serving. Each of these cups is a serving of rice, or is it 2 servings in a cup? It's 2 servings, so it's a half a cup of rice. So I don't know. Probably just add 1 of these. And we've got one last ingredient, so you want to stick with me now. There's one last ingredient that I haven't yet shown you. I'm going to go ahead and put both of these in because this is a whole pot of soup, y'all. So this is 2 cups of brown rice. So, you know, I'm watching my carbs. So I'm using 2 cups of brown rice, which is going to totally up that fiber in this soup, but still far less carbs than in white rice. But you know, I'm on a weight loss journey myself, and just a lifestyle journey, changing the way I eat, just being more cognizant, making better choices. And see, that rice is already, it's starting to really look like what we would put. Now, all I did is I added more liquid. I added more water to that because this is a soup. This is going to be a soup. Normally, if you made the filling for stuffed bell peppers, it would be really chunky, but we just added water to this because I'm also trying to control the tomatoes because they're very acidic and my belly doesn't like all of that acid anymore. Because KendyK is turning 50 in October, y'all. So it is indeed a September to remember, because we have done soups every week in September, including this week. So I'm giving you next week's soup on a Saturday because of the collaboration with Queen's Alchemy, Nisha Antoinette, and Mary's Life Journey. He would put hot sauce in his soup. Why would he do something like that? To each his own. Hey, 60 plus and Sophie. Hi, friends. Ooh, cheddar cheese. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Now, I do normally put some Parmesan cheese on top of my stuffed bell peppers. Y'all, I do have stuffed bell peppers. You want real stuffed peppers where you put this filling in a hollowed out bell pepper? I have several videos on that. But this cook along is soup. Soups in September. Because it's a September to remember. Now that cabbage is going to get cooked. Probably cooked tomorrow. The cabbage is going to be cooked. It'll probably be cooked tomorrow or maybe even today. I probably will cook it after this live stream. This is just going to be soup on this live stream. I could add some of that cabbage to the soup, but we're just going to make it bell pepper soup because I don't want anyone to get confused by the recipe. Okay, so I added 2 cups of minute rice, brown rice to that. So once that gets reheated, it's done. And I'm leaving the lid off, but you could put the lid on it. And we're just letting it simmer through so these flavors can start to meld it together. And then I've got to get y'all the secret ingredient. You're not gonna be ready for this. I promise you, you're not gonna be ready for this. The secret ingredient. Now, this is the recipe for this, friends. I'm giving it to you as I make it. But the recipe that I'm using is one that was taught to me by the Amish community, because me and some of my colleagues used to eat in their little Amish cafe. They have one store with all of their jellies and their canned products and all of their baked items that you can buy. And then the other side is they had a little cafe on the other side. But friends, the secret ingredient is some brown sugar. Baby, it does something to the tomatoes in this dish, and it does something to all of the peppers in this dish that gives you a flavor you have never tasted. And let me tell you, friends, it is heaven. It is heaven on earth. It is heaven on earth. So we are going to add some brown sugar to this, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our fresh bell peppers, because the other bell peppers that we were frozen, and onions, we use those to build the flavor in that meat and in the soup stock. These are just for the pretty aesthetics of it. Well, hey there. Heartily happy. I want to thank you for the $1 holla. I appreciate you, friend. And thank you, friend. And thank you so much. Ooh, he has different kinds of hot sauce. Well, if you like kale in soup, Mrs. Paula, then you will love my Zuppa Toscana, which is a dupe from the Olive Garden soup. Check that out. I've got 2 videos for that. One was a cook along last Monday, and then I showed you the finished product because I did the cook along during my work day, so I had to finish it off camera, but it was great. I can't eat raw kale, so I will eat kale, and I like kale, but it has to be cooked. Otherwise, it just, y'all, it goes right through me, if you know what I mean. It goes right through me. Yes. Nope, the brown sugar does not make it super sweet. It does not. It's going to make it super good, though. It's going to make it super good in the best way. Because I love this soup. Like, because they would do a soup a day. Nothing fancy at their little cafe, the Amish fancy little cafe. It was nothing fancy. It's just their little cafe they would have. And they would do a big pot of soup. And they would serve that soup until it was gone. But their favorite soup that they always had was, I'm looking for my measuring cup so I can show you how much I'm using. So we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar here. And I'm not even going to pack it. We're going to add 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar to that, baby. It's not going to make it sweet, I promise you. Because we have all the acidity from the tomatoes, and we have a whole lot of bell peppers in there. Y'all saw KendyK loaded that thing up with bell peppers. It's called bell pepper soup. But baby, I kept saying, what is that flavor? And then they finally came and told me, because they knew I loved this bell pepper soup. They already knew. When they saw me coming in the door, they would know. You want the bell pepper soup. Do you want a bowl or a cup? Y'all know I wanted a bowl. And so since then, I've been making it at home. For years. Thank you for the encouragement. Heartily happy. I appreciate you, sister friend. We love your voice in these YouTube streets. So y'all, we just want these bell peppers to just get barely soft. These are the fresh bell peppers. And I'm looking to see in my drawers where my big blades are for my Mueller dicer, because this is my small blade. Yeah, my small blade is in there. I want a bigger blade to cut these bell peppers up and put them in the freezer. I'm gonna cut all these bell peppers up. There we go. Yeah, I can cut these with my bigger blade on my Mueller dicer. So let's get ready for that. While our vegetables are cooking down, and they just need to soften. And that is bell pepper soup, friends. It was just that fast. Bada bing, bada bang, bada bing, bada bang, bada bing, bada bang, bada bing, bada bang. I never thought, Gemini Diva, I never would have thought that they would have told me the secret ingredient in bell pepper soup is brown sugar. But it gives a new flavor that you have never, I had never tasted it. And baby, bell pepper soup is one of my favorite soups. I remember making it for my mom during the pandemic. Did I ever tell you I went to go stay with my mom during the pandemic so she wouldn't have to be by herself? But I kind of did it, just to be honest, for selfish reasons, because I didn't want to be by myself during the pandemic. Those were scary times. Mm-hmm. So we would just kind of be thinking, always thinking of something new we could try. And I remembered bell pepper soup. And I mean, she loved it. Not only did she love it, she had me take some over to my auntie and leave it outside of her door. And then I rang the doorbell and she came to the door. Because, we had to keep everybody safe, I hear a fly or something. Shout out to the Oregon Ducks, y'all. Y'all better get them. Y'all better get those Oregon State Beavers. I'm rooting for the Oregon Ducks. That's why I have on my black. Rooting for the Ducks. So I am just cutting these bell peppers so I can put them on my Mueller dicer. Dice them up all uniformly, then they'll cook. If you cut things uniformly, then they'll cook in a uniform manner. Yeah. Pandemic was scary. We're not trying to go back there. But y'all do know the flu is on the rise, and so is COVID. COVID is still out here. Yeah, that most definitely is a fly or something in here. He loud. Hell, these flies be loud now. Have y'all noticed that? Now that's brown rice, so it's gonna be really good cooking down in here. Brown rice, you need to tend to cook it a little bit longer, but this was minute rice, brown rice, still rice. Isn't that pretty? And baby, try bell pepper soup. So we've got one more week, so that means I've got one more soup for you, and it's a surprise. So I'm not gonna cook a new soup on Monday, because this is Monday's meal prep soup on a Saturday because of the collaboration. So hashtag fall soups. If you would like to join us in this collaboration, all you have to do is fix a soup and put hashtag fall soups on it. It's just that easy, friends. Nobody owns a hashtag. Nobody owns a hashtag. Anybody can use any hashtag they want. And then your soup will be featured, and hopefully will begin to show up in the YouTube algorithm when folks search for fall soups. That's how we use hashtags. If you want to know more about how to use hashtags to boost you in the YouTube algorithm, and if you want to optimize your channel by properly learning some strategies for the use of hashtags, then join me for the sunrise edition of Shop Talk tomorrow. Yeah, why y'all got me over here cutting up the bell peppers when I just told y'all I'm putting them on a Mueller dicer? KendyK. KendyK. So we're just simmering this out. Now, you know, you can add another can of tomatoes or another can of tomato sauce if you want, but this is how I want mine. If you want it more red, just add more tomato sauce or another can of diced tomatoes. And you know, you can double this, triple this recipe. Yeah. And I use 1 pound of ground beef. So we've got at least, what, 8 or 10 cups of soup there, at least. 8 or 10 cups of soup in this pot. I'm going to eat some tonight. Let me step over to the refrigerator because Mrs. Paulo talked about that cheese in that soup. Yes, Mrs. Paulo. KendyK has some Frigo shredded Parmesan cheese. So I am going to put that because I would absolutely put Parmesan cheese melted over the top of my stuffed bell peppers. So baby, it's going down. It is going down. I do not like those ribs in my bell peppers. I like to get all that little white rib out of there. Okay, Hargerine is doing hair today. Amen. These flies and gnats are so disrespectful. And I need to go ahead and post that video because I made a trap for them gnats. I sure did. I had to stop what I was doing. I don't know if they was gnats or fruit flies. And I suspect they were coming from both my green plants in the house. I love plants. And, or they're coming from the fresh fruit. But baby, they were disrespectful. That is a Gemini diva. That part. Ooh, y'all, look at that. Look at that. So we just want those last peppers I put in just to get a little salt. Yeah, they're still crunchy. We want them to cook on down. And they would cook down much faster with the lid on. But you know, this is for the camera, so we're just gonna do it like that. I'm gonna put that one in there. Okay, let me put the dicer together. This is my Mueller dicer. I purchased this during the pandemic when the only place we could go at one point was to the farmer's market because it was outside. You remember that? After we learned that that COVID was in fact airborne. So I bought this for like $20. This is the small dice, but I'm going to do these vegetables in the larger dice. So here's the blade right here. And I just pop it out. Lock it in place so it can't come out. It catches the vegetables into the container. And you just lay them on there. And it cuts them perfectly. So we'll do the 3 colors together. The orange looks more red today, though. You know, it's all just little hydroponic vegetables made in warehouses, and by the Lord help us. And our food supply. Let me see what y'all are saying on the camera over here. So I'm over here doing my Mueller dicing over here. As we let our soup simmer, the longer you let it simmer, and we remember we have 1 bay leaf in there. Let me wipe this off a little bit. Okay. Can y'all see that? I think y'all can. Okay. Peace lilies. Did you replant it? Your peace lilies are a hardy plant. Are you having trouble with yours? Has it bloomed? Or it's just kind of fading out? I always buy a Miracle Grow. Get Miracle Grow because they have infused in it plant food and stuff. So add some new Miracle Grow to it. And what I've been doing, because of all these fruit flies and little gnats flying around my head and my face, I'm like, yeah, I made some gnat traps and I recorded it. So I need to share that video with y'all. Does everybody else get kind of caught in if you're a content creator, do y'all get caught in a bubble of trying to do everything but getting nothing done for your channel? It's just kind of fading out. You repotted it. Now, peace lily is a indoor plant. When I think of peace lilies, I always think of a funeral plant. So no trouble with the other 2. These choppers are good. These choppers, I love this chopper. This is the same chopper from the pandemic. So I'm talking about 2017, 2018. These blades are still sharp as knives. So you got to be careful. You don't want to... I'm going to go ahead and chop up all of these. I didn't mean to cut these into strips. But, I might stop right there because since these are already cut into strips, I'll leave those in case I do a little stir fry or something and I want to do some bell pepper strips. Yeah, I caught my stuff already. It's funny because, that's why I say imitation is the best form of flattery. Because folks talking about meal prep this, meal prep that. What's wrong? What you got against meal prep? It saves time. Because I don't cook for YouTube. I don't cook for YouTube. What I do is cook my food and record it. See, some folks don't cook. You can tell they don't cook by how they cook. I can tell that you don't cook often. So, baby, I try to cook most of my meals at home. And so, yeah, I'm just going to let these right here be bell pepper strips. And so when I do a little stir fry or something, I'll have these all ready to go. And frozen is best. Maintains all the freshness without any added salt. Yes, fresh is best. And then frozen. Frozen from fresh. Excellent. With no added sodium. Welcome in, Kyle. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, did you repot and I always added some Miracle Grow. And from my experience with peace lilies, that's partial sun, so just kind of in a sunny place that gets sunlight in your home. I have some plants right now that needs some fresh dirt on there. Yeah. So let me pop this off. And there are our perfectly diced uniform bell peppers, 3 colored bell peppers. But most of the bell peppers I used in this were green. I'm just putting these in a freezer bag. And they're going to be ready to go into any quick meal that KendyK makes. You better believe it. Appreciate the hearts. I see them. Thank you, friends. And I just try to get as much air out as possible. These bags I don't have to, because y'all, when I cook, I most always am using bell peppers and onions, bell peppers and onions, bell peppers and onions. If you don't know how to cook, get yourself some bell peppers and onions. Fresh or frozen. And you're on the right track. That is bell pepper soup made with 1 pound of ground chuck. So it sounds almost like, I don't know if you like stuffed bell peppers, Kyle. And that is our bay leaf. Still in there, adding flavor. And you can always sub out the rice in this. I'm using brown rice instead of white rice to cut the carbs and get an extra boost of fiber. But I used minute rice to make it easier on myself because I don't eat a lot of rice now anyway because I love rice. But I'm on a health journey, and KendyK is turning 50 in October. Yeah, I think we're all picky, and that's okay. It makes us all different. Yeah, the yellow and red and orange bell peppers are sweeter, milder than the green. I like bell peppers though. Yeah, so all you have to do is like rough chop it, like this, just a rough chop. And it even came with a brush so you can make sure your blades stay clean. Just had some lunch. Oh, you had some brocks? Johnsonville brocks? I always like the brand Johnsonville brocks. Now I do my apples like this. I cut them up on this dicer. When I do, I always chop a few apples up, 4 to 6 apples, so that I have frozen apples for my oatmeal, so that I can make sure I have apples to boost my oatmeal with fiber. Yeah. And add another fruit to my oatmeal. Oh, some little sausages. Okay. So I'm going to be watching the University of Oregon, the Ducks take on Oregon State Beavers, and I'm rooting for the Ducks. Go Ducks. Go Ducks. Go Ducks. Go. Go Ducks. Go. I got on my Oregon State shirt. I hope y'all can see it. Let me get in here. Got on my Oregon State shirt. Hope y'all can see it. Maybe not. It'll be in a video. You'll see it. So on the helmets for the football team, I know we were starting to talk about that, and I digressed again. On their helmets, they even get designed for them by fashion designer. They get a new custom made helmet. Who gets that? No, I don't know anybody that does that but the University of Oregon. That is custom designed for them for every game in the season. New custom uniform designed for them. They don't wear the same uniform twice. Nope, they don't. Including this year's, y'all, in the schedule, they will be wearing a tie-dyed uniform. Shout out to the University of Oregon. Yes. Where they do that? University of Oregon. That's where they do that. So on their helmets, friends, one side of the helmet will have a duck wing. Why? Because they're the Oregon Ducks. That's why. So one side of their helmet will have a duck wing, and the other side of their helmet will have, what was on the other side? A duck wing and I can't remember. Oh, the Nike swoosh. Because of Phil Knight. One of the founders of Nike. Y'all, he loves University of Oregon, and he loves University of Oregon football. That's why they get custom Nike cleats, a new pair of custom Nike cleats in every color. And so their cleats tonight, ooh, I don't remember the colors, but they're going to be black with gold in them. Black with gold. Ooh, y'all, it's a real fly. The devil is a lie. You better get on away from here, fly. Shoe fly. Y'all, I'm going to put a lid on this because ain't nobody got time for no fly up in here. I told y'all I could hear that fly because these flies are loud. You would have thought it was a horse fly up in here. And it's just a little fly. And how did he get in here? I did go out to the farmer's market this morning, though. Next week is Saturday. This Saturday coming up is the last week for farmer's market in my community. Let me see what y'all are saying. How's having a great day? Thank y'all for rocking and riding with me. This is KendyK all day. So, friends, that is our meal prep Monday, but on a Saturday edition. Mueller Dicer has helped me to get some things into the freezer. I just put a kitchen towel here. So scratch up the glass top on the stove. So I've got diced bell peppers, green bell peppers, 3-color bell pepper strips, and some diced 3-color bell peppers. Done and done. Yes. Friends, thank y'all for rocking and riding with me. This is a KendyK all day. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to your girl. This is a KendyK all day. Goodbye for now.